Do you remember where you were on 9/11, September 11th, 2001? I was getting ready for work and I was watching TV and the first plane had already hit the tower and it was unbelievable. I was staring at that TV and then as I was watching, I saw the second plane hit the tower and I said out loud to no one, I said, "Oh my God, there's going to be more." I just knew then that it was a deliberate act. That day is embedded in my mind forever. But that was 22 years ago, 22. Now, do you remember where you were on December 31st, the year 2000, Y2K? Our cat Charlie, unfortunately, had been hit by a car that day and we had to put him down. We also went to my BFF's Nancy for a party that night. And I had been on a task force at work because we didn't know what to expect with all of the computers changing to a new century. That was 24 years ago. 24 years, that's crazy. Now, let's go back, or almost 24 years ago, I guess. Now, let's go back a bit further to those of you my age. Do you remember where you were when Elvis died? I was with my cousin and my uncle in Barhead, Alberta, in line at the Burger Baron to get lunch. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. He died on August 16th, 1977. That's 46 years ago. Oh my goodness, 46 years. But my point of this video is really to remind us all how quickly time goes by and how if we don't act now, if we don't do the things we've always wanted to do, we may not have the time to do them. So in today's video, I'm going to address the top 3 questions I get asked all the time. And these questions are all kind of fear-based. It's all what's holding us back from enjoying our lives. And as you can see from this introduction, life happens so quickly. So let's talk about these questions, learn from them, get on with making your retirement remarkable. I'm Maureen Dobransky. This is Life Starts at Retirement. I produce a retirement lifestyle video every Monday morning. Now, the number one question I get asked over and over and over and over again is how much do I need to retire? And I wish I had that crystal ball where I could tell you exactly how much you need. But it really isn't a one-size-fits-all answer because no one knows what will happen in the future. No one knows how long you'll live. No one knows how bad inflation is going to be. No one knows what's going to happen to the stock market, or honestly, no one even knows what happens when you walk out the door today. But what I've seen is that the lack of these answers to this question leaves so many people too scared to retire or too scared to enjoy their retirement. They don't want to spend any money. Now, I have this problem where I'm worried about spending money too, but I'm working on it and actually it's getting better. The further into this retirement thing that I go, the better that is. Now, before I answer this, I want you to think, how will you know when enough is enough? How will you know that you've saved enough money to retire? I've seen so many people say that they need $1 million to retire, and then the closer they get to that million, the more they think they need more money and more money, and they're just fixated on a number. So instead of that, I recommend changing the goal from a dollar value to funding a lifestyle, which possibly includes traveling, providing for your family, being able to do what you want to do, what makes your retirement remarkable. This changes everything. So my answer to the question, how much do I need to retire, is we have to find out some more questions, and we have to find out some more answers to some more questions. And these questions take time and honestly work, but let's talk a little bit about them now, and hopefully you'll take them away and really answer them. Now, for this exercise, these questions are strictly financial, not emotional, not relationships. Right now, we're just talking financially. And there could be a ton of answers. There's no right, there's no wrong answers. So it doesn't really matter. But the first question, and the one that you have to ask yourself first, is what's important to you? What's important to your life? Remember, we're talking financially. So there really could be a number of answers financially. Well, financial freedom. I want to be able to sleep at night, not worried and stay up late and wondering if I have enough money. So financial freedom. I want to travel. I want to golf. I want to enjoy my grandkids and spoil them rotten. Those are things that are important to me. But what's important to you in your life? There's no right or wrong answer. It could be anything. And then when you think about that, then go a little bit deeper. So for example, if you said financial freedom is most important, then ask yourself, well, what does financial freedom mean to you? So again, it takes a little bit of work and some honesty, but let's just say you want to take financial freedom to you means, again, you're sleeping well at night, you're taking 2 big trips a year, you're able to join a golf club in the summer, and you're going to help pay for your grandkids' college, whatever that might mean to you. That's the perfect starting place. Then next, you determine how much you need to fund these things. How much money do you need to be able to do all this? And then last, we simply need to guess how long you'll live. Once again, there's no right or wrong answer, but the average life expectancy is between, I think it was 78 and 81. Maybe it's a tiny bit more than that now. But when I plan for myself, I use 92. I don't know why. That's just a number I've picked out, but that's the number I just hope I can live to. Now, it sounds simple, but it's actually quite a bit of work. And remember, every single one of these plans is unique. Don't compare your plan to someone else's. Yours will be unique. And then that's the number. Once you figured out all the things you want to do, then that's the number that you need in order to retire with that lifestyle. If it looks daunting and you're not going to get there anytime soon, well, think about any tweaks you can make to that lifestyle. So, and remember, Elvis died 46 years ago, so we want to enjoy our lives now while we can. I'd love to hear what your plan looks like, but mostly what's important to you. So now the second question I get asked most often is, what am I going to do all day? Now, a lot of people think that they're going to be bored. I know myself, I need to keep busy, and I get bored easily. And many people are in that same boat. And yet then there's many people that just can relax and do nothing or more of nothing and still enjoy themselves. So retirement, though, is really such a big change. We go from a purpose, a plan, a lifestyle that we've had for 30 or 40 years, going to a job, being busy all day, seeing people, talking to people. We're often stressed. We're running full out to nothing, not having anything to do. And many of us enjoy that for a while, but after a few months, then they get bored. And so once again, how will you fill 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? And once again, we just need to answer some questions like this. What do I love to do? What did I love about my work? What have I always wanted to do? Would I like to learn something? Would I like to give back to something if I want to volunteer? What kind of volunteering work would I like to do? And then think about your answers. So maybe it's what have I always loved? What did I always want to do? Well, I always wanted to travel more, but I was always too scared to spend the money. Well, now I'm spending that money and I'm traveling and I'm enjoying it and I'm seeing new places. It's wonderful. But those are some of the questions you need to answer for yourselves. Most of us, once we can start answering those, then we need to add them back into our lives. There's so many things that you can do that bring a purpose back into your lives, but most of them involve putting yourself out there. So my suggestion is to what you can do. What are you going to do all day long once you retire? Find out what your passions are. Find out what makes you happy and incorporate some of them back into your life. Usually in a different way than you did before you quit work. And then the third question I get asked most is, how will I know it's time to retire? Again, there's no one size fits all. First, if you're married, you should be talking to your spouse. Share your expectations, share your thoughts, be honest and be realistic. But remember, they may not be on the same page as you. Be respectful of that. Not everyone is where you are. And then while that talk is ongoing, make sure that you both know about your finances and what you'd like to do in your life. And again, be honest and be respectful. I've seen so many people have different expectations about what they want to do when they retire, and they assumed that the other person was on board. And then when they retire, they're going, you're going to do this? Well, I thought we were going to do this. So, and last, I can only speak for myself and my husband, Ken. When I left my corporate job, I just knew I would get in the car on the way to work every day and I would get a stomach ache. I didn't like going to that job anymore. I knew it was time. It had become toxic for me. And so I knew it was time to leave, and Ken and I had that conversation and away I went. But now we're doing that with Ken. He's about to leave his career and we're so excited. I'm nervous and excited at the same time. We've talked and talked and talked. We know all about our financial picture and we think we understand what will keep him busy when he's done and how that'll impact me. I've had my house to myself for a number of years. So we've talked about all of this. But he says he knew it was time when he sort of lost his desire to work. When the phone would ring and he'd go, oh, here we go again. And it was a bother. So he knew it was coming. And then last, we know so many people our age that have had health issues lately, that can't travel anymore, that have even passed away. We just decided we're going to grab life by both hands and enjoy it. Somehow we instinctively knew it was just time. Now, I realize, again, that's just not 100% of an answer, but that's sort of the process we went through. For those of you that are already retired, I'd love to hear how you knew it was time. So those are the top 3 questions I get asked about retirement. And by addressing these fears and by understanding the answers and asking yourself and doing the work, you can get busy making your retirement remarkable too. I'm Maureen Dabrowski. This is Life Starts at Retirement. I produce a retirement lifestyle video every Monday morning. And please consider joining our Facebook group. It's growing like crazy at facebook.com/group/lifestartsaretirement.